We got pictures of that one.
Yeah, seriously, that is really concerning to see, and I know it doesn't happen that often in Washington State, but we have our Chief Meteorologist Mike Everett tracking the latest when it comes to this tornado and what we're going to see for the rest of the week.
Hi there. Luckily, most of our tornadoes are either classified as an EF0 or an EF1, but still some interesting rotation yesterday. What I've done is I've cheated radar a little bit. I actually set it back about 36 hours and found yesterday afternoon, right around 2:30, this is Le Center. This is way down south. In fact, St. Helens is right there. That gives you an idea how far south. In fact, this is right near the Oregon state line. It looks like it was this particular cell right here that had a little bit of rotation in it. Whenever you get two air masses that have different temperatures, one slightly warmer, one slightly cooler, which is something that you get when you get that rain-driven air coming down from the upper levels of the atmosphere. That's what creates that rotation. Luckily, nobody hurt, just more of a phenomenon. As we back out from that, we got absolutely nothing going on across the region right now. That system has moved on, and some weak high pressure is built in. In fact, we've got a little bit of offshore flow. Look at that. Every time I click on this over the last hour or so, we start seeing more and more Rainier. During the sunset tonight, it was absolutely spectacular. When you offset it with the Tacoma Dome, it's magnificent. We're going to get another chance to see that tomorrow. As we take a look off towards Payne Field and Everett, some beautiful blue skies in that direction. And check that out, some dry tarmac, something that we have not seen this week and something we won't see a whole lot of next week. Going a little bit abstract with the SeaTac camera. It looks like it's out of focus right now, but it's actually got kind of a nice feel to it. It's got almost a Christmassy kind of vibe with all those taillights there. Here's what we did. We got ourselves above average today. 65 was the official high today. 62 is the norm. We were right on top of the 30-year average in the overnights. 48 is where we bottomed out. The record for today's date isn't even really all that warm. 72 set back in 2006, and back in 2021 we touched down at 36. No rain in the gauges today. Plenty of that on the way starting on Friday night. We'll talk about that in a moment. Sunset 6:27. So this is some light offshore flow. What this is going to do for us is a couple of things. It's going to warm us quite nicely tomorrow, but also what it does is it creates a situation where the fog can't form the same way that it did today. We saw some very dense fog because we really didn't have a whole lot of rotation happening in the atmosphere. So we get a little bit of wind, especially some offshore wind. That should keep that fog from forming. The big story is this: that offshore flow is going to warm us up into the 60s and 70s on Friday. Now, a new front moves in right about 24 hours from now. So that's going to come in, cool us down, and bring some wet weather into the weekend. Don't worry, things are looking pretty good for the UW game. I'll tell you about that in a moment. Current temperatures right now sitting in the 60s and even some mid-50s up towards Mount Vernon. 52 in Oak Harbor, 62 in Forks, and off towards the east it's chilly. 61 in Wenatchee and in Ellensburg. So as we put the future into motion here, a couple things to watch for. That frontal boundary will be moving through on Friday night. Looks like it's going to bring a lot of cloud cover along with it as well. So by the time we get to Saturday morning, if you want to get out and see the eclipse, it'll get a little bit dark for a bit, but if you can't see the sun, you can't see the eclipse. So I don't know that it's going to be all that great, but I'm going to be out looking at it anyway. By the time we get to about 11 a.m. on Sunday, most of the action has passed, and it could actually be a fairly user-friendly day out there. It'll be overcast and cool, but it doesn't look like it'll be as rainy as Saturday will be. Temperatures have warmed nicely across the region. It's 5 degrees warmer in Renton than it was this time yesterday, exactly the same in Forks. So as we put things into motion hour by hour, we get tomorrow morning, 8:30, looks like things will just be a little bit cloudy. By the time we get into the afternoon, 5 o'clock, it looks like the commute should be fine, unless, of course, you get a late jump on it. By the time we get into 7:30, it's going to be raining fairly steadily out there. And then as we get to Saturday morning, it looks like it's going to clear. And by the time we get to 12:30, which is when the kickoff for the UW game is, looks like we should be fine. But bring some rain gear anyway. 7-day forecast shows a beautiful day on Friday. Nice way to end the work week. But if you don't take advantage, you're going to miss it. It's going to be back into the cool and wet zone starting on Saturday.
All right, Mike, thank you.